All right, welcome back. This is part 2 of your Schoology crash course. Couldn't get that out. All right, so we went through setting up our Schoology, changing the default picture, talking about publishing and unpublishing assignments depending on when students need to access them. So now we're going to get into where I left off, which was kind of the difference between the assignment and the files. But then also we're going to just quickly discuss some of these other options in here. So I'm going to start with adding an assignment. This is going to be your best tool if you want students to complete something digitally and turn it back in. I will say that this does require the students to be somewhat technological, and I wouldn't recommend this for younger grades. But for older grades, they should be familiar with it from last year. So you would click Add an Assignment, and then you would name it. I always name it something logical. You could also include the date just to keep it easy. So this is in my August 25th folder, and I'm going to do a classifying shapes assignment. The next thing is it has to be saved to your computer. So it has to either be something that you created or something that is saved. So I would go to my OneDrive assignments, and it's really just going to take me through my file folder. So I had this saved in my documents under distance learning, and then, classifying shapes. And then right here you will see any documents that are eligible to be uploaded under the assignment tab. It's got to be usually a Word, a PowerPoint, something that they can work in. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that shape scavenger hunt, and hit attach. Now, when students open up this document, it's going to look like exactly how it did on my screen. It's going to be a workable PowerPoint document. However, right here it says this will create a copy of your file for each student. So unlike when you're collaborating with your team and you share a file and everyone's contributing to it, this is going to give each student their own copy. So the best way to do this is to leave parts of it blank if you're having them fill in the blank, or to create more of a template style and they're dragging and dropping what they need. It's really important to include the directions on the assignment. So for this one, it was a shape scavenger hunt. So I would just type out for this assignment, and I would include all my directions. I would be very thorough. It's best if you don't put all your directions as a paragraph, but if you use numbered directions to keep it really clear and concise, or bullets. So you don't want all your words in a paragraph. You can go ahead and click the due date. This is helpful for students to stay on track. If I were assigning this on the 25th, on the 25th, I would have it due Friday the 27th if they were doing this at home. There is an option to sync this to PowerSchool, but we did not use it last year. So you can create a new grade category, and for example, this would be distance learning. And then we're not going to sync to the gradebook. Down here, you do have different options. You could individually assign this. So if you had wanted to assign this to only your students learning at home, you could, or you can make it accessible to the whole class. You never know who's going to be absent randomly or get checked out and need to access it. So personally, I would leave it open to the whole class. I'm unsure what the lock button does, but there's also the option to copy this to courses. So if I am a middle school teacher or a math teacher that has multiple sections, I don't now have to go and create this in every single course. I can hit copy to course, and then I can select the other courses I also want this to be in. Since this is a demo, I don't have, I could put it in this. And then once I click that, I can even select the folder. So I'd put it in his math folder, and then once I have everything selected, create. Okay, so now I have my assignment, and notice that it's unpublished because in my previous video, this entire folder is unpublished. So if I go back and I publish the folder, now everything in that folder is also published. Okay, So that is adding an assignment. The next option is maybe you just want to add a file. Maybe, especially for the lower grades, you want the kids to watch a video of you or of a song, something that you found on YouTube or recorded. You can insert the link right here. What always throws me off is I would think the title would come before the URL, but the title is below. So let's say I wanted to do the YouTube video I have up as study music. This wouldn't be beneficial, but this is just an example. I would come here and I would click on share. And then right down here where you see copy, you will see the link. So I could copy that link, just paste it right here where it says the link URL. There are some options down here. Display in Schoology, I actually don't prefer because then it opens up a screen in the Schoology platform. I personally prefer having different tabs and windows, so I take this button off. Here's that publish button again. You can make it published or unpublished and copy to a course. So I would add that in. Now my students have a link. If I wanted them to access this link, they would click it. It opens in a new tab, and now they can access that video. All right. Other things is you can just go ahead and add a file. Let's say that you had a printable worksheet that you have not enhanced to make digital, but you still want the kids to have it and follow along. You could just attach the file. So I'm just going to attach this one. It's going to name it automatically, whatever you have it saved as. However, you can change it. And let's just say I want to call it pre-work, and then I can add it. Okay, so now they have access to just that file. Other helpful materials, discussion boards are a great way to get students involved, even though we might not be in person at this moment. You can add a page. I'm not super familiar with that, but from what I understand is it adds an internal link. What else is here? You can add a test and a quiz. I used to use this for attendance purposes or just little checks for understanding. And you can even build assessments in here. I didn't use this very often at all. But my favorite ones would be your discussion, your files and links, and your assignments.